In this video I'm going to show you how you can print circular photos. Now what I've got here is an event that takes one photo and prints it out. So let's have a quick look at the print layout here. And as you can see, the one photo is on the paper and it's a landscape photo. And the reason for that is because if I go into settings and look at my cameras, you can see that we're set up to use the DSLR camera for taking a photo. Let's have a look at the DSLR, and you can see that the photo size is 1920 by 1080. Now RightBooth will use those values in your designs on your screens, so that's what you're seeing on the print layout screen. You're seeing an image that is a 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio photo placeholder. So if you want to print circular photos, the first thing you're going to have to do is to crop the photos that you take from the DSLR camera. Now if I just turn on crop photos here, you can see that I've set the crop to be 1000 by 1000 pixels. So I might just make that 1080 by 1080. Now what that does is it makes the height, the full height of the photo that's taken, and the width is obviously square. So it's going to crop the left hand and right hand edges of the photo that's taken by the DSLR. So you're going to lose some of the original photo, but at least the central portion will be square. So let's go back and look at the layout into the editor. Now you can see that RightBooth has modified the photo placeholder to be square. So that's what you can work with. Right, let's just size that down. But if I look in properties, you can see that the photo placeholder is not stretched. So it doesn't matter how I size the boundary, the photo placeholder will not be distorted. Watch if I stretch. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it unstretched. Okay, so how do we print a circular image? Well, what we have to do is to apply a fade onto this placeholder. Now if you look here in properties, the fade is currently none. Let's have a look. So we have lots of fade options. So for instance, I could have faded edges. And you can't quite see that, but when the photo is on this screen, it will have faded edges. But I don't want to do that this time. I want to have radial. Now we're getting close to what we need. The reason why it's fading out from the center to the edge is because of this value here. The more this increases, the more the fade. So really what we want to do is to remove this altogether so there's no fade whatsoever. So let's just take that right down to 0. And as you can see now, there is a cropped circle around the edge. You can't quite see this. Let me just change the background color. Let's just change that to, say, blue. Now you can see it. So really what's happening now is that RightBooth will capture the photo from the DSLR camera at 1920 by 1080. It will apply a crop automatically to it at 1080 by 1080. And then on the printing, RightBooth will apply this fade, this radial fade with no fade out. Although you can still see a slight fade around the edges, which may not be desirable, but if you are printing on a white background, which is probably what you want to do, then you're not going to see that slight blurring along the edges there. Now, as you can see, if I widen this out slightly, you can see the actual edge of the dotted line. So you could do this manually to get it just right, or you could change these values up here so that they are exactly the same. So let's make this 1000 and make this 1000. So that gives you an exact circle. And there you go. That's how to print circular photos.